It's 6:30 in the evening and the house feels heavier than it should. I'm sitting at the kitchen island, phone in my hand, scrolling through nothing. Same 3 apps, same empty feed, same silence pressing against my ears like cotton. Our Park Slope brownstone used to hum. Music from her playlist in the shower, the smell of coffee and hairspray mixing in the mornings, little things that made a place feel lived in. Now it's just the hum of the fridge and the occasional car horn outside, like the city's alive, but we died somewhere inside it. 2 months. That's how long it's been since Nia and I had a real conversation. Not the pass the salt kind, not the you paid the bill kind, real talk. The kind where you look at each other and remember why you said I do in the first place. Lately it's like we just roommates paying rent with resentment. She'd been coming home later, smelling like that hotel bar perfume. Expensive, crisp, not hers. Says she's networking. I don't press. I've been buried in code anyway, freelancing for startups that think innovation means working people to death. Still, the check's clear, 6 figures easy. You'd think that meant something. But every time I mention work, she rolls her eyes like I'm talking about video games. You still doing that little laptop thing? She said once, and I swear the way she said little made it sound like an insult carved in glass. I keep telling myself we just off balance. Happens to couples. Life gets loud, love gets quiet. So I decide to break the ice. I spend half my day planning a surprise. Tickets to her favourite downtown theatre, the one with the velvet seats and overpriced cocktails she loves. Made a reservation at Luigi's too, where we had our first anniversary dinner back when she still laughed with her mouth open and didn't care who saw. I even bought that cologne she once called Dangerous. Stupid maybe, but I wanted to remember what it felt like to try. Door opens. Heels on hardwood. Click, 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 sharp like punctuation marks. She walks in, blazer still buttoned, eyes on her phone, scrolling like I don't exist. Hey, I say, soft but steady. She doesn't answer. Heads straight for the fridge, grabs a bottle of sparkling water, pops it open, the hiss slicing through the quiet. I got us something, I continue. Tomorrow night. Orium Theatre, front row. Dinner after, Luigi's. Thought we could. She turns then, eyebrow lifted, mouth curved in that cold half-smile she's mastered. Really, Marcus? You think a dinner's going to fix this? The words hit like ice water down my back. Fix what? I ask, careful, calm. She lets out a short laugh, bitter enough to sting. Everything. You working all the time, pretending to play husband when it's convenient. You want to talk romance? How about you try being present for once? I stand, lean against the counter. I'm here, Nia. Been here. Maybe you just stopped looking. She folds her arms, leans on the doorway, head tilted. You always got a line, don't you? Look, I'm tired, okay? Maybe what I need is space, like... She pauses, eyes narrowing just to twist the knife. A month without you? Yeah, that might actually help. For a second, I think she's joking, but her face stays still, cold as marble. That's when I feel it. Something inside me unclenching, not anger, just clarity. A month, huh? I say quietly. You sure that's what you want? She shrugs, sips her drink. I'll manage. Good, I whisper, mostly to myself. I walk past her, straight to the bedroom, pull out the old duffel from the closet. Shirts, jeans, laptop charger. She doesn't move, just watches, probably thinking I'm bluffing. Marcus, she says finally, voice sharper now. What are you doing? Exactly what you asked for, she scoffs. You really packing a bag over this? God, you're dramatic. I zip the duffel, sling it over my shoulder, look at her one last time. Nah, just respecting your wishes. I head to the door. She follows a few steps, panic flickering under the attitude. Marcus, come on, don't be stupid. I pause at the threshold, keys in hand with on my door. You wanted a month without me, congratulations, it starts now. The door shuts behind me with a soft click, and for the first time in weeks, the air feels clean. The night outside smells like rain and new beginnings. I don't look back. The first night hits different. The air in Bed-Stuy feels rougher, thicker, like it's got something to prove. I find this short-term rental through a friend of a friend, top floor of a brown brick walk-up, creaky stairs, tiny kitchen, bed that sags in the middle like it's already tired of hearing people's problems. But it's mine for now. 4 walls that don't echo her voice. That's enough. I drop my duffel on the floor and sit on the mattress, listening. No heels on wood, no passive-aggressive sighs, no half-hearted good night. Just the hum of a window unit and a siren somewhere down Fulton. The quiet doesn't feel empty tonight. It feels earned. My phone lights up on the nightstand, NIA. So you really mad over this? Another ping, NIA. You're being ridiculous. A third, NIA. Wow, you're really just going to ignore me? I stare at the screen until it fades to black. Not anger, not sadness, just calm. The kind that comes after a storm when you realise everything that's still standing is stronger for it. I toss the phone onto the blanket and let it buzz itself tired. Morning smells like burnt toast from the neighbour's window and weed from the street below. Brooklyn never sleeps, just hums at a lower volume. I make instant coffee in a chipped mug and watch sunlight crawl across the counter. For the first time in a long time, I don't have to measure my breathing to match somebody else's rhythm. By noon, the texts turn into guilt trips. NIA. You really left? Like for real? Over one comment? Then NIA. You're so dramatic, Marcus. Grow up. Then silence. Until a few hours later, NIA. Fine. Do whatever. I scroll through our old thread. Hundreds of messages. Inside jokes, plans, photos from weekends that used to mean something. I delete the entire conversation. The phone feels lighter after that. I don't save her number when I get my new SIM card. Just let that part of my life fade out of the contacts list like a glitch that finally fixed itself. The next few days move slow but clean. I work from the kitchen table, code on the laptop till midnight, eat Chinese takeout straight from the carton, and don't have to apologise for anything. No sideways looks when I'm focused. No, you still on that computer? Digs, just me and the clicking of the keyboard. Like a heartbeat I finally recognise as my own. Sometimes I catch myself expecting her. Her perfume, her voice calling my name from another room. But the echo never comes. And every time it doesn't, it hurts less. The silence becomes company. Not loneliness, just peace. Like the city finally turned down the volume long enough for me to hear myself think. Friday afternoon I take a walk down Nostrand, window shopping just to move. The pawn shop sign blinks, we buy gold in tired red neon. I push the door open. Bell rings, dusty air. Behind the counter, an older dude with glasses and a Yankees cap looks up from his newspaper. What you got there? He asks. I slide the wedding band across the glass. Simple gold, a little scratched from years of dishes and arguments. He picks it up, weighs it between two fingers like it's nothing. You sure about this? He says, voice slow like he's asked it 1,000 times. Yeah, I tell him. Positive. He scribbles on a form, counts out the bills and passes me a receipt. I don't look at the amount. Doesn't matter. That ring already took more than it's worth. When I step outside, the late-day sun hits the sidewalk, bright enough to make me squint. I take a deep breath, stuff my hands in my pockets, and start walking with no destination in mind. Somewhere between the pawn shop and the corner bodega it hits me. I don't feel lost. I feel free, like I finally stopped holding my breath after years underwater. For once, I'm not running from the quiet. I'm walking straight into it. Saturday afternoon in Bed-Stuy hits different. The air thick with heat. Car radios, kids hollering, somewhere down the block. I push open the glass door to King's Chair Barbershop and it's like stepping into a different kind of church. Bass rumbling low through a speaker in the corner, smell of clippers and aftershave, men talking over each other about everything and nothing. This is where the noise makes sense. Dev's already in the first chair, beard lined up, cape around his neck, laughing loud enough to shake the mirrors. Look who finally crawled out his cave, he says when he spots me. Brother Freedom himself. Man, shut up, I say, grinning as I sit in the next chair. You act like I've been gone 10 years. Nah, he chuckles. But word on the street is you finally packed up from that museum of marriage. The barber, Tone, snorts behind his mask. You mean Neuer? Damn, that woman could ice a volcano. Everyone laughs. I let them. I'm not. The jokes bounce off me now. While Tone starts on my fade, Dev keeps talking, voice rolling like a preacher who swears too much. Listen, bro, I ain't trying to pry, but you look lighter. Like a man who finally dropped a piano off his back. I shrug, eyes on my reflection. Guess that's what happens when you stop trying to fix somebody who don't want to be fixed. Tone hums. Say that again. Dev nods, smirking. You know what her problem was? She got too used to you always being there, always showing up, always smoothing things over. She stopped respecting the peace you brought. He leans forward, finger pointed like he's drawing scripture in the air. Now she gonna find out what it's like without it, without you. For a second nobody says anything. Clippers buzz, the radio switches to some old school R&B, and the smell of talc powder fills the air. It feels like home, the kind of place where truth don't sound cruel and just necessary. You think she'll hit me up again? I ask, not because I care, but because it's the ghost question hanging in the air. Dev smirks. Course she will. When the silence gets too loud, she'll reach out. That's what happens when people mistake your calm for weakness. But here's the thing, he pauses, looking at me through the mirror. You can't go back, Mark. Don't you dare make her comfortable again. Let her sit in what she built. I nod slow, the words sinking in like they belong to me now. Tone dusts off my neck, unclips the cape. That'll be 20, my guy, he says, but I hand him 40. Keep it, I tell him, for the therapy session. Everybody laughs again, and for the first time in a long time the sound feels right. It ain't noise, it's living. Dev stands, claps me on the shoulder. So what now? You still got that spot in Bed-Stuy? Yeah, I say. It's small but quiet. Good, he grinned. Quiet's underrated. We step outside into the late afternoon heat, the kind that smells like fried food and new sneakers. The bass from someone's car shakes the curb, and I take a deep breath, feeling the city breathe with me. Dev stretches, looks over at me. You thinking of calling her? I look down the block, watch the light bounce off a passing bus, and shake my head. Nah, man, I say, voice steady, low, final. I'm not going back. He grins wide. There it is. That's the sound of freedom, brother. And for the first time, I believe him. Friday night. Emily's loft in Dumbo. The kind of space that smells like money and ambition. High ceilings, candles everywhere, jazz humming low through Bluetooth speakers. People I halfway know stand around sipping overpriced wine, talking about things that sound important but ain't. I wasn't planning to come, but Dev said it'd be good optics, whatever that means. Truth is, I'm tired of hiding. I'm not the ghost in her story. When I walk in, heads turn, some smiles too bright, some eyes too curious, and then I see her, Nia. At the far end of the table, holding court like always. Hair perfect, laugh rehearsed, glass of rosé dangling from her hand like a prop. She spots me, freezes for half a breath, then flashes that performative smile I used to think was charm. Marcus, she says, voice smooth but cold, didn't expect you to crawl out of your cave tonight. The room goes half silent. I hear someone awkwardly clear their throat. Emily glances at me like she wants to switch topics, but I beat her to it. Yeah, I say, sliding into an empty chair across from Nia. I figured I'd give you a break from missing me. Her jaw tightens, but she laughs, and too loud, too long. Oh, please, you act like you left some grand legacy. You ran off because you couldn't handle a grown conversation. I sip my drink. That what we calling disrespect now? Grown conversation? Tom, Emily's husband, chuckles nervously. So, who's trying dessert first? No one answers. Everyone's watching. Nia leans forward, eyes sharp, voice rising just enough to pull attention back to her. You always did play the victim, Marcus. The tortured genius with his little startups and big dreams that never quite pay off. She laughs again, scanning the table for allies. Rachel, her work friend, smirks, eager to co-sign. Little startups, I repeat quietly, setting my glass down. That's funny. I glance around the table, catching eye of Seni's, making sure my voice stays steady. You know, those little startups are what paid for your grad school loans. That ring on your finger, that came from a little startup. Those vacations you posted all over Instagram, same little startup. Guess we both underestimated how big small things can get. The silence that follows could slice air. Rachel looks down at her plate. Emily's eyes widen a little, impressed and nervous at the same time. Nia's smile drops, replaced by that flash of fury she hides behind lip gloss. You're twisting it now, she says, voice tight. I was just joking. Yeah, I nod. Except the punchline stopped being funny once I realized you only laugh when you think someone's beneath you. No one moves. Even the jazz track in the background sounds like it's waiting to see what happens next. Dev's not here, but I can almost hear him saying, Let her feel the silence, bro. So I do. I sit back, relaxed, calm, letting her drown in it. Finally, Emily coughs, trying to break the tension. So, the lasagna's great, right? A few forced laughs. Forks start clinking again. Nia doesn't look up. She pokes at her food like it's suddenly interesting. The control she used to have in every room just slips. I lean slightly forward, voice low enough for her, but not private. You wanted space, Nia. I gave you that. You wanted a month without me. Enjoy it. But don't rewrite the story to make yourself the hero. She doesn't answer, just sits there, eyes fixed on her plate, nails tapping against the stem of her glass. When dinner finally ends, people start saying their awkward goodbyes. I thank Emily, give Tom a nod, and head toward the door. Behind me, I hear someone whisper, "Damn, he really said that to her?" Outside, the night feels warm and alive, Brooklyn buzzing like it knows something's changed. For the first time, I ain't the one walking out heavy. I'm walking out clear. Tonight wasn't revenge, it was balance, and it feels good to finally be the one holding it. By the next week, my phone starts acting like it's got a mind of its own. Messages coming in from numbers I haven't seen in months. People who never hit me up before suddenly checking in. I already know what it is. Nia's started her campaign, rebranding herself as the victim, the misunderstood wife abandoned by her unstable tech husband. Classic. Emily texts first. Hey, just so you know, Nia's been really down. Maybe you two should talk. Rachel posts some vague status online. Some men don't realise what they have until it's gone. Yeah, subtle. Then the calls start. Unknown number, late evening. I let it ring twice before picking up. Marcus? The voice sharp, nasal, her mother, Tonya Roberts. She never liked me much, but now she sounds downright righteous. I heard you walked out, she says, skipping greetings. That's not how a real man handles things. A man should endure, hold his household together, no matter what. I lean back in my chair, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slow above me. Endure, I repeat quietly. That what you call it? That's marriage, baby. You think love's supposed to be easy? You think my husband never made me mad? You men these days so soft. First fight, and you're all packing bags. I let her talk, all that generational noise pouring through the receiver like static. Then I say, calm but cold, Miss Tonya, I ain't running from love. I'm just done playing games where I'm the only one losing. Silence. Just her breath on the line, heavy and judgmental. You sound just like your daddy, she mutters before hanging up. I laugh under my breath. If that's supposed to sting, it don't. It actually feels like relief, like I finally stopped asking for permission to be at peace. The next few days, the storm keeps circling. Nia's friends posting throwback pictures of her with sad captions, mutual acquaintances sliding into my DMs asking what happened. I don't answer. I let the noise bounce off, because the truth is, I don't owe anyone my side anymore. My silence is the story now. Then late one night, my phone buzzes again. Unknown number. But I know that rhythm. NIA. I miss you. Just 3 words. No punctuation, no explanation, but it lands like a stone in my chest. For a moment, my thumb hovers over the screen. Instinct wants to open it, read it, decode it. The old me would have replied in seconds, maybe with sarcasm, maybe with hope, but not tonight. I stare at that notification, watching it fade out until the screen goes dark again. Then I swipe left, hold down, and hit delete message. No trace, no proof, no temptation. Outside, the city's still awake. Distant sirens, laughter from a stoop, bass from a passing car shaking the windows, Brooklyn breathing like it always does. I set my phone face down, lean back, and close my eyes. For the first time in forever, her words don't pull me back in, they just drift by. Let her miss me. Let her wonder, me? I'm good. Because I finally learned something most people never do. Peace ain't what you find when they come back. It's what you get when you stop waiting. Saturday morning sunlight spilling through big windows, jazz humming low through the speakers, smell of espresso and cinnamon syrup hanging in the air. That's how Williamsburg feels when it's trying to apologize for the rest of New York. I've been coming to this little cafe for the last few weeks, mostly to work, partly to remember what quiet sounds like when it's not empty. She's behind the counter when I walk in, long dreads pulled into a loose bun, nose ring catching the light every time she turns her head. There's something calm about her, like she moves on her own frequency while the rest of the city runs on chaos. Hey, she says, warm and lazy. You want your usual? Yeah, I nod. Large black, no sugar, she grins. You always order like you mad at the world. I laugh, actually laugh, Moye, and it feels strange, like using a muscle I forgot I had. Maybe I am, I say. Or maybe I just like my coffee honest. She slides the cup across the counter, fingers brushing mine for half a second. Well, here's some honesty in a cup then. Try not to hold a grudge against it. I take a sip. It's good, better than good. I don't know if it's the brew or the way she's looking at me like I'm not just another tired face in the crowd. You look like a man who's been thinking too much, she says, tilting her head. Is it that obvious? She shrugs. Only to people who think too much too. You got that energy. Quiet, but loud in your eyes. I smile, shaking my head. You got a PhD in reading strangers or something? Just a good barista radar, she says, laughing. Coffee tells me more about people than they realise. We end up talking longer than I planned. About music, neighbourhoods, how rent feels like robbery now. She tells me she paints on weekends, says it helps her keep the noise out. I tell her I write code. She laughs. So you build the noise. It's easy, natural. No pretending, no measuring every word like with Naya. Just conversation that breathes. At some point I realise I'm smiling without forcing it. I can feel the weight in my chest loosen. My phone buzzes on the counter. I glance down. NIA. The name lights up the screen like an old alarm I don't need anymore. For a second I hesitate. Then I flip the phone face down. Monique notices but doesn't pry. She just wipes the counter, eyes soft. You don't have to answer whatever that is, she says quietly. Sometimes peace sounds like silence. Yeah, I murmur. And silence don't feel so bad anymore. She smiles again. Small, but real. Good. You deserve to breathe, stranger. I walk out of that cafe with the taste of coffee and something new in my mouth. Maybe hope. Maybe just the idea that not everything good has to hurt first. Outside, the sun's high, people laughing on the sidewalk, dogs tugging on leashes, life just moving. I slip my phone into my pocket without looking back at it. Whatever Nia wanted to say can wait forever. Because for the first time in a long, long time, I don't feel broken. I just feel alive. It's late afternoon and I'm leaving my co-working space in downtown Brooklyn, earbuds in, sun low, and golden against the glass towers. I'm halfway down the steps when I hear my name. Marcus! I turn slow. She's standing there, Nia, in a pale coat that doesn't quite match the season. Hair loose, eyes hollow like she ain't been sleeping. For a second I don't recognise her. She looks smaller somehow, like the confidence got rinsed out of her. We need to talk, she says. No hello, no smile, just that same tone but cracked this time. I pull one earbud out, let it hang. About what? Don't do that, she says, stepping closer. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't, I say. It's been quiet. You said you wanted space. I gave you that. She crosses her arms, shifting her weight, eyes searching mine like she's trying to find the old version of me. So that's it? You just moved on? You really let all of it go? The street noise fills the silence. A bus hissing at the curb, somebody yelling for a cab. I look at her and see the woman I used to chase through every argument, every apology, every half-hearted promise that we'd do better. And suddenly, I'm just tired of chasing ghosts. I didn't let it go, I tell her. My voice calm, not cruel. I just stopped trying to hold on to something that was already sinking. She blinks, caught off guard. Wow, she says after a beat, her tone sharp, defensive. That's poetic. You practiced that line for your new girlfriend? I exhale, slow. There it is, the old playbook. When she feels herself losing ground, she throws jealousy like a grenade. There's someone else, Marcus, she presses, her voice rising. You think I don't see those little smiles you post? The coffee spots you tag? You think I don't know about her? I think you know exactly what you want to know, I say. And what you don't. Her jaw tightens. You didn't even deny it. Didn't say I had to, I reply. You walked away from us, remember? You made space. I just stopped standing in it. She laughs. That brittle, humorless laugh that used to make me want to fix everything just so it'd stop. You're different, she says finally. Colder. No, I tell her, stepping past. Just done being burned. She grabs my arm. Not hard, but enough to stop me. Her eyes shimmer, and for the first time in forever, I see something real in them. Confusion, maybe even fear. I didn't think you would actually stop loving me, she whispers. I look at her hand on my sleeve, then back at her face. I didn't stop loving, I say. I just stopped begging. She lets go like my skin's on fire. The silence stretches between us, heavy, final. Goodbye, Nia. I walk away before she can reply. My reflection follows me in the glass storefronts, a man I barely recognize, shoulders straight, eyes clear. Behind me I hear her call my name again, smaller this time, like a question she already knows the answer to. I don't turn around. For the first time, the guilt that used to live in my chest feels gone, like a tenant who finally moved out. And what's left behind isn't anger. It's peace. The summer nights in Brooklyn have their own heartbeat, slow, sticky, half romantic, half restless. Monique and I are sitting on the roof of her building in Williamsburg, plastic cups of cheap red wine in hand, old-school soul drifting from her phone speaker. The skyline glows like a lazy fire, bridges blinking in the distance. We don't talk much at first, just sit there, legs stretched out, listening to some Marvin Gaye track that sounds like a confession put to rhythm. There's something peaceful about being next to someone who doesn't demand noise to fill the space. She takes a sip of her wine, squints at the city lights. You ever notice how the skyline looks like it's always waiting on somebody? I chuckle. Yeah, like it's posing for a picture nobody's taking. She smiles, eyes still forward. Exactly. The breeze moves through her locks, carrying the faint smell of coconut oil and freedom. She passes me the bottle, and I pour another splash into my cup. So, she says softly, you ever going to tell me what made you look so tired the first time you came into the cafe? I take a long breath. Marriage, I say finally. Or what was left of it. She doesn't flinch or pity me, just nods like she's heard this story before in 100 different forms. She your ex now? Yeah, I say. Guess so. It's weird though. You spend years building something, trying to keep it alive, and one day you realize you're the only one still breathing into it. Sounds heavy, she says. It was. I lost myself in it, trying to prove I was worth staying for. I laugh, but there's no humour in it. By the end, I wasn't even me anymore, just some version she could tolerate. Monique turns to me, face lit soft by the glow of her phone screen. Maybe you don't need to find yourself again, she says. Maybe you just need to become someone new. I look at her, surprised by how simple it sounds coming out of her mouth. You make it sound easy. It ain't, she says, grinning, but it's real. People talk about finding themselves like there's a lost wallet somewhere inside them. But sometimes you just outgrow the version you were, and that's okay. I sit with that for a minute, staring at the skyline. The wine warms my chest. The air feels lighter. She's right. I've been trying to get back to who I used to be, the guy before the cold nights, before the fights, before the silence. But maybe that guy's gone, and maybe he's supposed to be. She leans back, resting on her elbows. So what now, Mr. Tech Genius? You going to build yourself from scratch? I grin, raising my cup. Guess I already started. She taps her plastic cup against mine. To new builds, she says. To clean code, I add. We both laugh. The laughter echoes off the roof, light and free, rolling into the city hum below us. It doesn't feel forced, doesn't feel like I'm pretending to be okay. When I walk home later, the night air smells like rain and burnt sugar from a food cart. I pass couples holding hands, kids on bikes, some dude freestyling under a streetlight. And for the first time in forever, the world doesn't feel like it's happening without me. Monique's words keep replaying in my head. Maybe you don't need to find yourself, maybe you just need to become someone new. I smile at that, small and real. Maybe she's right. Because tonight, under the hum of the city and the weight of all that's gone, I don't feel lost anymore. I just feel becoming. The notification hits while I'm halfway through my morning coffee. Someone tagged me in a post. I almost ignore it, because nothing good ever starts with a tag. But curiosity wins. The caption freezes me. When your husband walks out and finds comfort in another woman's arms, guess vows don't mean much these days. Nia's name right at the top. 2 sad face emojis and a perfectly filtered picture of her holding a wine glass like she's auditioning for sympathy. The comments light up. Girl, you deserve better. Men ain't loyal once they get a taste of freedom. Is that the barista from that cafe he goes to? My stomach twists. She didn't say Monique's name, but she didn't have to. Half the city knows where I get my coffee. By noon, my DMs are full. Old college friends, random co-workers, even my aunt asking, "Marcus, what's going on? Should I be praying for y'all?" I put my phone face down, but it keeps buzzing like it's alive, hungry for more drama. Later that day, I stop by the cafe. Monique's there, cleaning the counter. Smile missing. She looks up, eyes softer but distant. "I saw the post," she says quietly. "Didn't think I'd be part of someone's heartbreak campaign." I sigh. "I'm sorry, Mo, she's just hurting," she cuts in. "Yeah, I get it. Still doesn't mean I want to be her punching bag." There's no anger in her tone, just disappointment. She unties her apron, sets it down. "Maybe we should cool off for a while, let things breathe." I want to argue, tell her I didn't do anything wrong, but I know better. Sometimes silence isn't weakness, it's protection. When I leave, the door chime sounds like the end of something that never got a chance to begin. That night, I meet Dev at a dive bar in Crown Heights, the kind of place with sticky tables and neon lights that hum like they're tired too. He's already got a soda in front of him, nodding to the beat of a song only he can hear. "You seen it?" he asks as soon as I sit down. "Yeah." "She wild for that one, bro." "Yep." He studies me for a moment, eyes narrowing. "So, what you gonna do? Write some long-ass post explaining your side, screenshot receipts, go public?" I shake my head, take a slow sip of my drink. "Nah, I'm done proving I'm not the villain in her story. Let people talk." Dev chuckles, leaning back. "So you just gonna live, huh?" "Exactly," I say. "I'm just gonna live." He nods, satisfied. "Good, because once you start defending yourself to liars, you already lost." We sit in silence after that, the kind that ain't awkward, just honest. I can hear laughter from another table, smell the fried food, feel the weight lifting off my chest. When I step outside later, the city feels different. The air cooler, cleaner, like Brooklyn's finally letting me exhale. My phone buzzes again, another message from someone asking for my side. I delete it without reading. Because the truth is simple now. She can post, people can gossip, the world can spin, but I don't owe anyone an explanation for finally choosing peace. Still, as I walk down the block, I know I can't let this linger forever. It's not about defending myself anymore. It's about closing the chapter, locking the door from the inside and walking away for good. Tomorrow I'll make that call, not to her, but to my lawyer. Rain beats against the windows of a downtown Brooklyn cafe, the kind of steady drizzle that makes the whole city move slower. I step inside, shaking water off my jacket, phone buzzing with emails I don't feel like answering. All I want is caffeine and 5 quiet minutes. But the universe loves irony, because when I glance up I see her, Nia, sitting by the window with Rachel, her favourite partner in drama. Same polished look, hair perfect, nails sharp, voice carrying over the sound of steaming milk. I should turn around. I should walk right back out. But before I can, Rachel spots me and smirks. "Well, look who's back from the wilderness," she says loud enough for half the cafe to hear. Nia turns, and for a second there's surprise, then calculation. That old mask slides back on. "Marcus," she says smoothly, "didn't think you still hung around this part of town. Guess your new life's not as glamorous as you hoped." I exhale, force a small smile. "Good to see you too." She leans back in her chair, folding her arms. "You know, you just left. No explanation, no goodbye. Like some kid running away from home. You could have at least been man enough to talk." Her tone cuts clean through the hum of conversation. Heads start turning. The barista slows down mid-pour. "I'm not a kid," I say evenly, stepping closer. "I just stopped explaining to adults how to treat people with respect." A couple near the counter glance at each other. Rachel raises her brows, clearly enjoying the show. "Respect?" Nia laughs, loud and brittle. "You call ghosting your wife respect? You packed a bag and vanished like I didn't matter?" I shake my head, calm, measured. "You told me you needed a month without me. I gave you that, and peace came with it." Her eyes flash. Peace, or another woman? There it is, the grenade she always keeps in her purse. "You really believe that?" I ask quietly. "I saw the pictures, Marcus, you and your little cafe friend. Must be nice being someone's project again." Rachel lets out a fake gasp. The room's gone still, even the rain sounds muted. I don't raise my voice. I don't need to. I say. Deady as a heartbeat. The only project I ever worked on was fixing something that didn't want to be fixed, and I'm done with that. Her mouth opens, but no words come out. Rachel mutters something under her breath and suddenly finds her phone very interesting. I grab my coffee from the counter, ready to leave. That's when I see Monique, standing near the door, umbrella dripping, expression tight. She must have come in for her shift, or maybe just for a latte, but now she's frozen, eyes darting between me and Nia. It hits me, how this must look. Me and my ex, voices raised, the air full of leftover history. Monique, I start, stepping toward her. She shakes her head, soft but final. It's okay, I get it. Looks like you two still got things to finish. No, I say quickly, voice louder than I meant. It's not what you think. But she's already walking out into the rain, the door swinging shut behind her with a dull chime. I stand there, coffee in hand, watching the water blur her figure through the dark glass until she disappears into the crowd. Nia says something. I don't even hear it. The noise of the cafe fades, replaced by that hollow quiet again. I turn back to her, my face cold. You win, Nia. You wanted to pull me back down, and for a second, you almost did. But I'm done playing this game. I walk out, rain hitting my face like applause from the city itself, hard, real, cleansing. Behind me the door swings shut again, and this time I don't look back. Whatever I was holding on to, the anger, the guilt, the hope, it's gone. And even though Monique's gone too, somewhere deep down, I know this had to happen. The past needed its last scene before the credits could roll. Night settles over Bed-Stuy, slow and heavy. The hum of the city fades to a low pulse outside my window. Distant laughter, the rumble of the subway far below, the kind of noise that makes the quiet inside feel earned. My desk lamp throws a small pool of light across the table, the rest of the apartment shadowed and still. There's an old notebook in front of me, the kind I used to take client notes in, but tonight it's not about work. Tonight I just start writing, no plan, no outline, just everything I never said out loud. Nia, I begin, this isn't for you to read, it's for me to let go. The pen moves like it's been waiting. I write about the nights I stayed up trying to fix us, the way I learned to measure silence by the distance between your sighs. I write about how love shouldn't feel like begging someone to notice you, about the mornings when I made coffee for two and poured one down the sink because you never came to the table. Then I write the truth, not the pretty version, not the one that fits in a post. You taught me something I didn't know I needed to learn, what I will never allow again. Not disrespect, not pretending, not shrinking myself so someone else can shine. By the time I stop, the page is full, ink smudged where my hand dragged across the lines. The words look raw, almost... I sit back, stare at them for a while. Then I tear the page out, fold it once, twice, 3 times. The kitchen light flickers when I switch it on. The apartment smells faintly of paint and takeout, the kind of newness that still doesn't feel like home. I set the letter in the sink, strike a match. The flame catches slow, then fast, curling the edges black. The smoke rises, twisting like memory, and for a moment I hear that soft crackle blending with the sound of kids laughing somewhere outside. Somebody's frying chicken down the block. I can smell it, warm and greasy and real. Life goes on, right there beyond the window. My phone buzzes on the counter. Monique, I answer. You okay? She asks. Her voice is low, a little uncertain. Yeah, I say, watching the last corner of paper turn to ash. Tell me something, she says. You're not going back, are you? I smile faintly, even though she can't see it. No, I tell her. I'm not going back. I'm just closing the door, from the inside this time. She exhales softly, and in that breath I can hear the same peace I'm starting to feel. Good, she says. Then maybe now you can sleep. After we hang up, I open the window. The night air rolls in, humid, alive, carrying the sound of music from somewhere down the block. Someone's playing blues guitar on a stoop, strings bending soft, soulful. I lean against the counter, watching the smoke drift away, fading into the dark. For the first time, the memories don't hurt. They just exist, quiet, harmless, done. That letter was never meant to reach her. It was meant to reach me, and, tonight, it finally did. 6 months later, Manhattan hums like it never learned how to rest. I walk through the glass doors of the office building where my new startup's based. Clean, modern, all white walls and exposed pipes, like ambition with good lighting. The project I built during my quiet nights in Bed-Stuy has blown up. What started as a side contract turned into something real, something mine. I lead a small team now. People ask my opinion. They listen. The city outside moves fast, but inside everything feels still, centered, controlled. Friday afternoon I step out early, catch the train to Bed-Stuy. King's Chair Barbershop looks the same, posters curling on the wall, clippers buzzing, laughter bouncing off mirrors. Dev's in the first chair again, big grin under his beard. "Look at you," he says when he spots me. "Mr. Manhattan now. I knew you'd glow up once you dropped the dead weight." I laugh, sliding into the seat beside him. "Ain't that deep, man?" He points his comb like a preacher's finger. "Don't downplay it. Sometimes to win, you got to leave the table, even if the game ain't finished." I nod. He's right. The shop smells like talc and fresh fades and something familiar I didn't realise I missed. Tone lines up my hair while Dev keeps talking, tossing in that street wisdom he always does. But it's different this time. He's not pulling me out of something. He's congratulating me for climbing out on my own. When I leave, the air feels lighter. That evening, I head to Williamsburg again. But not for coffee this time. Monique's name's on the flyer of an art gallery opening. I walk in and it hits me, the room glowing with soft lights, jazz drifting from hidden speakers, paintings on the walls that look like pieces of her soul spilled out in colour. She's near the centre, talking to a small crowd wearing a paint-stained dress that somehow looks perfect. When she spots me, her face softens. "You actually came," she says. "Wouldn't miss it," I tell her. "You got your work hanging in a real gallery now, that's big." She smiles, slow and bright. "Guess we both found new ways to breathe, huh?" I chuckle. "Yeah, and better air this time." She tilts her head, looking at me carefully. "You seem different, lighter, happier." "Maybe," I say. "Or maybe I just stopped pretending." Her smile widens. "See? You finally laughing again." "Just finally not faking it," I say. And she laughs too, that same low, easy sound from the cafe months ago. We spend the evening drifting between people and paintings, and for once, I'm not thinking about what's missing. I'm just there, present, steady, alive. When I leave the gallery, the city hums under streetlights, reflections rippling on wet pavement from an earlier rain. And that's when I see her, across the street, near, holding another man's hand. She's talking, laughing at something he says. For a second, time folds, memory pressing against the moment. Then she looks up, sees me. Our eyes meet, just a flicker, no anger, no ache, just recognition. Then she turns back, keeps walking. I stand there a moment longer, watching her fade into the crowd, feeling nothing but calm. Because some stories don't need sequels. Some doors stay closed because peace lives on the other side. The city moves around me, taxis honking, somebody shouting for a ride, wind carrying the smell of roasted nuts from a cart nearby. I take a deep breath, the kind that fills your chest instead of weighing it down. Sometimes love isn't what keeps you together. It's what teaches you how to let go at the right time. And tonight, for the first time, I'm not holding on to anything. I'm just walking forward.